I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
How's it going? And welcome back to another episode of Saturday Night Horror. Now we're back on track this week with our horror and sci-fi movies after kind of having a little fun last week with Cool as Ice. I actually had a few people say that last week's episode, our joke episode, was their favorite episode of the series so far, so thank you for that. I appreciate that, and I'm glad y'all enjoyed it. We did have that one person, however, that did not enjoy it, but who cares? They'll get over it. So this week, I'm excited about this week movie-wise because I'm going to be watching one of my favorite movies, period. More sci-fi than horror, but one of my favorites nonetheless. Tonight, we're going to be watching John Carpenter's They Live, starring Keith David and Rowdy Roddy Piper. Now, I'll tell you what, folks, I absolutely love this movie. I love this movie to death. This has, since the first time I've seen bits and pieces of it on cable TV, I loved it. And that's really where I first saw it. I can't remember what channel it was on. I was flipping through the channels, late one night. And I come across Roddy Piper. I'm like, oh, what's he doing? So I started watching, and I see Roddy Piper. He puts on these sunglasses, and all of a sudden, people's face turned to aliens and all kinds of weird stuff was going on. I had no idea what was going on, but it was Roddy Piper. It looked interesting, so I stuck around and watched what was left of the movie. Finally got my hands on it, watched it from beginning to end, and man, I love it. It has always been one of my favorites ever since then. You cannot go wrong with They Live. As far as cooking goes, most of you know by now, I have started my weight loss journey. I'm going to go from big beefcake to hopefully just beefcake. And to help with that, I've started a high protein diet, so I've been looking up different high protein recipes. And I found one that looked pretty good, something I've never had before. It was called slow cooker chicken teriyaki. So I'm going to make that tonight. It looked good in the picture. Hopefully it tastes good as well. So we'll see. We'll find out, man. It's whole new eating habits, whole new diet, so the cooking is going to be kind of experimental here for quite a while on Saturday Night Horror while I figure out which of these recipes I enjoy and which ones I don't. So tonight, our movie, John Carpenter's They Live. In the kitchen, slow cooker, chicken teriyaki. Should be a good night. I'm looking forward to it. So without further ado, let's go out to the kitchen and let's get this food started. We got to get an early start because it has to cook for 4 hours, so it is early right now. Let's go out in the kitchen. Let's get it started.
Let's go out to the kitchen. Let's go out to the kitchen. Let's go out to the kitchen and have ourselves a snack.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here are our ingredients for a slow cooker chicken teriyaki. We have boneless, skinless chicken thighs. We have ground ginger. There we go. We have soy sauce, rice vinegar, which I've never used before. We have pure honey, brown sugar, yeah, and no, don't spill it, you moron. There we go, yeah, there's brown sugar, if I don't spill it all over. Cornstarch, organic quinoa, and brown rice. Alright. So here's our slow cooker, and the first thing we're going to do is just dump the chicken thighs in here. I'll be honest with you, I don't know if you're supposed to trim the fat off of them or not. We're just going to dump them in there, and I may regret that, I might not, we'll see. So step one done. Alright, so next we have to make the sauce, or the majority of the sauce. And we're going to do our soy sauce first. Man, that's a lot of freaking soy sauce, man. Good lord. Alright. Maybe it's going to get soaked up in the chicken. Alright, so we got our soy sauce in there. Up next, we have our rice vinegar, which... vinegar stinks so bad, man. And this is no different. Alright, after our rice vinegar, we have pure honey. Alright, I skipped the honey. It took too long. The last of our brown sugar is going in. Like so. Right, we have 1 minced clove of garlic. I forgot to put that on the counter with the other ingredients. Apologies. I'll put that in there. I promise we're almost done. We have our ground ginger. Alright, so I'm going to put the last of our ginger in there. And it called for minced ginger, but we didn't have any. Alright. Everything is in there, and just going to whisk this together and try not to spill it all over the counter. Because you know me, more often than not, I make a mess. So we're going to try not to do that because I really don't want to clean up honey, soy sauce, and vinegar off the counter. Oh man. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, so whisk the sauce up. You saw I made a little mess at the end there, not too bad. And we're just going to dump it on this chicken. Alright, we poured it on the chicken. Get every last drop of that sauce. Alright. Alright, so I've got this plugged in, haven't turned it on yet. What we have to do is cook this on low for 4 hours. So, as you can see, this thing is old, but it does the job. So, we'll be back in 4 hours. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it has been 4 hours for me, maybe 2 seconds for you. Let's take a look. Oh god, it burns. Okay, had to put some oven mitts on, take that off, and that does, that does not look good, I have to say. But we're going to continue on with it. Alright, so what I have to do now is pull the chicken apart, and this still doesn't look good. I'm having second thoughts and serious doubts about this. Well, let's pull it apart. Okay, now that it's pulled apart, it actually does not look bad at all. So that's a relief. So we're going to set this chicken to the side, and we have to do our second part of the sauce. Alright, so as you can see in our battle-tested bowl here, this thing has been around for almost 30 years, maybe even more. It has been microwaved, it has been dropped, it's been through hell, as you can tell. So we're going to add some cornstarch here. If I can get it in, there we go. Come on, Beefcake. Right, now that we've added cornstarch, we got water in there, and we're just gonna kind of whisk it, and mix it all together, so it's so it combines really nice. And shouldn't take too long. I just wanna do some extra mixing just to make sure. But yeah, that chicken looks a lot better now that it's been pulled apart, because before that, man, it did not look good. Alright, we're done. Okay, so what I've done is I took a strainer and dumped the soy sauce, that sauce mixture, out of the crock pot into this pot. Then our cornstarch and water, we're going to dump that in there as well. And we're going to mix this together, just to get it all mixed up. And then we're going to put it on medium heat and wait till it comes to a boil. So we're going to come back, stir it every so often. But yeah, we just want to mix everything up and let it come to a boil. And then we'll dump our chicken in there. So yeah, let's just let this cook, and we'll be back to check on it. So hopefully it won't take too long. Alright, so as you see, it's boiling, it's bubbling. Time to take it off the heat and add our chicken to it. We're almost done, folks. It's been a long day. Alright, so it's off the heat. We're going to dump our chicken in there. Gosh, it looks so much better now that it's been... I know I said it already, but man, it looks so much better than it was. My faith has been restored in this recipe. Alright, now we got our chicken in there. We are going to mix it all up. Got my oven mitt on so I don't burn myself like a moron. And we're just going to mix this all up real well. We added that cornstarch of water, and now that sauce has gotten thick. It's not pure liquid anymore now that it's cooked. Got that cornstarch of water in it, so I just want to mix it up real well. Make sure the chicken is covered in the sauce. So yeah, not too much longer. We'll be good to go. Alright, everything's mixed up. I think we're ready to put it on a plate. Now I do have the brown quinoa and rice heated up. So we'll just throw this on top of that rice and see what happens. Alright, so here we go. I've got some rice, got the chicken teriyaki on top of it, and I'm just going to mix it all up. Alright, so here it is all mixed up. It smells good, so hopefully it tastes good as well. Let's go watch our movie, man. Alright, change of plan. We're having Special K. Way too much soy sauce. It tasted like pure salt. Yeah, so Special K for dinner it is. Alright, well now that we've been disappointed severely, let's at least have one good thing come out of the kitchen part of the show. Let's do our mandatory, absolutely necessary Jurassic Park movie poster shot. Because daggone it, we're going to have something good come out of that spending all day in the kitchen now. There we go. Jurassic Park. Yes, sir. One of my favorite movies. There we go. And you see it is dark outside. Oh, yeah. So anyway, the kitchen portion of the episode was a bust, but the movie will not be. So let's go out front and let's watch our movie. Alright, here we go. If anything can salvage the night, it's Rowdy Roddy Piper and Keith David. We're gonna turn this frown upside down. We're gonna salvage the night. We're gonna have an awesome night. So without further ado, let's get the movie started, man. Alright everyone, the movie is over, and like I said, one of my favorites. The movie was awesome, man. I really, really enjoyed the movie. And you see I have a special guest with me for right now until he decides to leave. Tiger wanted to get in on the fun. Say hi, buddy. His mouth's a little wet. He was just drinking water. But yeah, the movie was awesome. As you saw, the chicken teriyaki was not... Now, I'm not going to name names. But somebody insisted that I doubled the recipe for the sauce. It won't make enough sauce. You need to double the recipe. So that's what I did. Guess what? Too much soy sauce. That's all I tasted. Soy sauce kind of has that salty taste to it, and when I took a forkful of that chicken teriyaki, I might as well have just been dumping salt in my mouth because that's all I tasted. Hello, Bella. Bella's here too. So yeah, moral of the story, don't change the recipe. So if I were to make it again, I would follow the recipe to the letter. Definitely would not, goodbye Tiger, definitely would not double the sauce recipe because that was, oh my god, that tasted like pure salt and it was not good at all. Special K was awesome though. So yeah, the food was a dud. It might be good if we actually follow the recipe, who knows, but the movie itself, They Live, is freaking awesome, man. Rowdy Roddy Piper plays a drifter named John who ends up in Los Angeles, and to make a long story short, he gets his hands on these special sunglasses, and when he puts them on, he kind of sees the truth about what's going on in the world. Aliens have invaded our planet. The higher-ups in society are really aliens in disguise, and they have subliminal messaging all around, magazines, billboards, art, everything, kind of getting the humans to reproduce, to consume, and, you know, just fall in line using these subliminal messages. And you can only see it if you wear these special sunglasses. And we find out later in the movie that the reason you can only see it with these glasses is because the aliens are sending up some kind of signal from a satellite that's blocking their true identity and blocking these subliminal messages. I'm going to learn how to talk in a minute. So if you destroy the satellite, you destroy the signal. You destroy the signal, the alien disguises will fail, you'll see their true forms, you'll see all the subliminal messaging. So that basically turns into what's trying to be accomplished here. John, and with the help of Keith David, Lord, I just watched it, I can't ever remember his name. I can't ever remember his name. I remember it until I turn the movie off. I'm sorry, Keith David. They go on a mission, along with other people who know the truth, to find the signal and destroy it and save humanity. Well, this is an awesome movie, man. To me, this is Roddy Piper's best movie. He has been in some stinkers, folks. Hell Comes to Frogtown. If you've never seen that, sweet baby Jesus, watch it one time and you'll see just how far Roddy Piper has come. But yeah, definitely my favorite Roddy Piper movie. Keith David is awesome in whatever he does. Keith David will never be in a bad role. Keith David is one of those actors that's really just, he's underappreciated, man. He's just so good at what he does, and he doesn't get nearly as much credit and recognition as he deserves, and it's a shame. So when I was watching this, I also remember the article I read that they wanted to do a remake of They Live. Now folks, there are certain movies that don't need a remake, that should just be left alone the way they are and remembered the way they are. They Live is one of those movies. I absolutely do not want a remake of They Live, because you can't get any better than the original. You can't. It won't happen. Please leave it alone. Oh man, this movie also has a distinction of, in my opinion, having one of the longest fight scenes in the history of cinema between Keith David and Roddy Piper. I actually tried to time it, and it went on for such a long time that I forgot to check the time when it was over, but I believe it was almost 6 minutes long. Roddy Piper and Keith David get in a fight in a back alley, and it's funny because there are certain points of the fight where you think, okay, the fight's over, and then out of nowhere, either Roddy Piper or Keith David will run up and start the fight again, and it just won't end, but it's so much fun. It's just an awesome fight. And the funny thing is, they're beating the living hell out of each other, and then Roddy Piper tries to hit Keith David in the nuts, and that's what pisses Keith David off. He blocks it and he goes, "You dirty motherfucker." He's beating the hell out of you, but trying to hit you in the nuts is what really pisses you off. I love it, man. A friend of mine joked that this was the longest fight he's ever seen, and it could have actually been a wrestling match. It was so long, but awesome fight scene. Definitely one of the longest. We also get the classic Roddy Piper, one-liners and cheesy dialogue that he has in all of his movies. He's always got a couple cheesy lines in all of his movies. In Frogtown, he was, "Hey, you try making love in a hostile mutant environment." What? In this movie, I had to write it down because it was so funny. We had Roddy Piper say, "Life's a bitch, brother, and she's back in heat." And we had the classic, "I have come to chew bubblegum and kick some ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum." What else needs to be said, man? Roddy Piper, I think every movie I've seen him in has these corny one-liners, but they're funny. So usually when you have these corny one-liners, it's lame as hell, but these are actually funny. Hello, Bella. Another thing I noticed in this movie, most of the time when someone dies in this movie, it's like, boom, they fall straight back. It's like GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64. They drop down, fall back. It's so weird. But this movie overall, not very gory at all. People get killed and there's not really a lot of blood. I did notice, however, after watching this for years on Blu-ray, you didn't see a whole lot of what was really going on the cable version. On the cable version, they kind of censored out some things, but here on the Blu-ray version, you actually get to see the blood. You actually get to see the people being killed. It's not a whole lot, and it's not over the top. It's just a fun movie. I mean, I really can't put it any better way than this just a fun movie. And really, it's definitely worth your time. It's definitely worth your money to own it. You won't be disappointed. It's one of the better sci-fi movies I've ever seen. And it's one of those, I hate to say it, but it's one of those rare movies where a professional wrestler is in the main role and it doesn't suck. Because a lot of these wrestlers, when they turn to acting, oh my god, they're horrible. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, he's an exception. Roddy Piper, after They Live, is an exception. Some of his other works, I can't say the same. But yeah, it's all in all definitely a good night, movie-wise, food-wise. It was a dud, but those things happen. We'll learn and we'll do better next time. So that's gonna do it for this episode, everyone. Like I said, They Live, totally awesome movie, definitely worth your time. Definitely check it out. If for whatever reason you have not seen it, please do yourself a favor and watch it. I promise you, you'll enjoy it, you'll love it. So with that being said, we are gonna wrap this up. Tiger and Bella have left me. Thanks, cats. And y'all have an awesome weekend. Y'all have an awesome week. And I will see you next time on the next episode of Saturday Night Horror, where once again we'll be watching another one of my favorite movies of all time. Should I reveal it? Nah. Y'all take care.